Alright, everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to The King's Speech. So we took a little break from recording videos last weekend because work was busy. Life has been a little bit shitty, but we're back at it for the long weekend. A lot of good content coming your way. Just record a reaction to last week's chapter of Akane, as well as the new Kaiju chapter. Also dug into some Yona. A lot of good stuff coming this weekend, so if you haven't already, please do consider commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff, so you can stay up to date with all the good content coming your way on the channel, especially because Twitter is getting more and more borked every day, so if you haven't subscribed already to get notifications, you won't see when these videos are coming up because it's super hard to promote outside of YouTube right now. So yeah, click those buttons, stay up to date. It really helps me out a lot because it promotes my videos with YouTube's algorithm, which in turn, gives me the motivation to keep creating content. And yeah, really like to keep doing that and would greatly appreciate your support. But without further ado, let us dive into it with Yona of the Dawn, Volume 30, story and art by Mizuho Kusanagi. Forgot to do that credit on the last video. But yeah, let's dive straight into it with chapter 170, the front lines. And we have, although General Judo's cavalry squad faced some setbacks in the early stages of the battle against the Sen Province army, all the squads were able to turn things around. The Koga army gradually gained the upper hand, but despite that, Ying Kulbo, supreme commander of the Sen Province army and king of the Tuli tribe, quietly smiled. As you have him going, so the Thunder Beast shown himself. Goes, move the chariot toward the front. I'll take that man down. And all his troops are all used to orgasming. He's like, yes, our king is finally going to show what he can do. No one can stand against our Lord Kulbo when he holds a sword. And Yun's like, their morale is soaring. They're all just chanting, King Kulbo, King Kulbo. We pick up with Jeha and Gija, who are exchanging some blows. As Gija's like, what's wrong, Jeha? Do you really think you can hold back and still defeat me? You see him lashing out with a kick, sending Gija flying back. And Sinotel says, don't let yourself be distracted, Blue Dragon. So with a giant pow, he sends Sinha flying back as his mask comes loose. And you have, great, now tie him up. And Zeno's like, no, he has to be subdued first. That didn't faze him at all. And you see Zeno just mounting him as he goes, draw your sword. He's like, Blue Dragon. He's like, I don't want to. And you see Zeno just grabbing him, pulling closer and going, at this rate, Sen Province will capture you too as well. We can't defy them. They're holding the lad and the young lady hostage. We're waiting for a chance to act. Try to drag this out as long as possible. Use your fists if you won't use your blade. And Sinha's still like, I don't want to. And Zeno's like, are you listening at all? This is just going to give them more hostages. I'll fight back against enemies, but I don't want to hit you with anything. Oh, sorry, it's Sinha going, I'll fight back against enemies, but I don't want to hit you with anything. He goes, listen, we have to stall for time. It doesn't matter if you punch or cut me, just do it, hurry. He's like, I said I don't want to. It's like, so you want me to hit you and you'll just take it? And you see the soldiers watching them going, what's going on? It's like, they seem to be arguing. And Sinha's like, that's fine. He's like, this isn't fair. The strength in my arm is about to wear off. It'll be powerless. It's like, I won't be able to fight unless you attack me. And you see back with Jeha and Gija with, you guys were having a serious fight here. You're making it hard for your big brother to keep a straight face. He's like, who's big brother? Who do you think is older here? And you hear, yeah! And then Gija's like, what's going on? And you're King Kulbo. And Jeha's like, Kulbo's come to the front lines? And then back at Hazara's palace, you have Yona looking out the window going, it's so quiet. I wonder how the battle's going. How are the dragons? How's Yun? How's Huck? I wish I had even a little information. I need to get out of here somehow. And you hear a clack as Kulbo's wife, what was it? Euron comes in with, I bought lunch for you. And she's like, Kulbo's wife. In order to get past her and escape from this place, or escape from this palace, and the wife's like, you can't escape from here. King Kulbo is generous to those who obey him, but defiance will be punished. And Yona's like, there's no guarantee that he or the Sen Province army will return. And you see Euron just glaring at her. She goes, ever since he began leading the Tully tribe army in place of Lady Tishia, our goddess of war, he has never lost a battle. There's no one in Koka who could ever defeat King Kulbo. And she's like, that's not true. She just kind of falls down to her. She drops to her knees and goes, Yona, this is no time to argue about whether Huck is stronger. It's like it was reflex. And you see Euron just kind of watching her silently. She goes, I apologize for losing my composure. And Yona goes, I'm a prisoner, but you're treating me with great courtesy. Aren't you the queen of the Tully tribe? And Euron goes, King Kulbo said he would make you our tribe's new goddess of war. Your importance would be second only to the king. Yona's like, he's like, what's more, among our tribe it is customary for the first wife to look after the second wife. Yona's like, what do you mean? He's like, what do I mean? And she just motions like, first wife, second wife, first wife, second wife, first wife, second wife. And Yona's like, I think you've got the wrong idea. And she's like, you've slept beside King Kulbo, haven't you? He's like, yes, but only because he was trying to ensure his prisoner wouldn't escape. He did fall asleep, though, and I doubt he'd shackle his wife. And she goes, it's because you defied him. Ordinarily, the punishment for defiance would be greater, but it seems he genuinely enjoyed being in your company. He must like you quite a lot. And Nona's like, you're mistaken. Besides, I'm from Koka. I won't become the Tully tribe's goddess of war. And Euron's like, that's for King Kulbo to decide. Like, no, I'll never become the goddess of a king who uses my friends as hostages. I die first. And Euron's silent before she goes, then please tell that to King Kulbo. And Yona's like, she's been watching me and Kulbo since I arrived. She respects him and loves him deeply. And she goes, your food's gotten cold. I'll reheat it. Yona's like, oh, there's no need. Besides, Owl's eating this. You hear a cluck and a, what's this? Were you two princesses chatting? I'd love to know what about. And Gobi comes in looking all smug. And he's like, Priest Gobi! He's like, I'm very interested in Princess Yona and the Dragon Warriors. Is he back on the battlefield? Huck is just cutting down swaths of men. As he goes, my vision's getting blurry. The pain of all these wounds, enemies and allies, even my own existence, they're all meaningless now. All I have to do is cut down anyone who gets in range. And you see this one go, monster! And you hear, hey, are you Huck? As Kulbo's chariot pulls up. It's like, look, the Tully tribe's king! The King Kulbo! And Tadrin's like, Kulbo! It's like, Huck, that's their supreme commander! It's like, Huck! It's like, it's no good. I didn't think he can hear anything anymore. And his eyes look dead. Excuse me, needs some water. I'm trying to call it Huck, Captain Huck. And he goes, so you are Huck. He goes, tell me, is Yona your woman? And he goes, huh? Don't say something so stupid that just hearing it wakes me up, you piece of crap. And Huck, she's like, his ears are fine, Lord Tadrin. And Tadrin's like, King Yulbo, did you kidnap Princess Yona the Green Dragon and the Yellow Dragon? And Huck, she's like, don't forget Yun. And you see murders and then just like flowing off of Huck. He's like, what? He kidnapped the red-haired princess and the dragon warriors? So the legendary dragons and the red-haired princess are our guardians. How dare he? Unforgivable. He's like, give them back. They're the gods of Koka. He goes, I'm taking the dragons and that girl for myself. So next flash, Huck just smashes his glaive through the chariot as Kulbo leaps off. And he goes, who did you say you were taking? And when you see with the rumble as Kulbo draws his sword and goes, didn't you just say she's not your woman, Thunder Beast? Huck's like, don't talk about her like she's an object. He's another giant swing as he just destroys the remnants of the cart as Kulbo's like flocking and all the bits of rubble flying at him. And you see in the next strike, he blocks the glaive with his sword. And Huck's like, where are my friends and her highness? And he's like, her highness? Is that what you just called her? Huck's like, huh? It's like, when I addressed her as your highness, she told me not to call her that. It's like, why? And Huck's just getting more annoyed. It's like, huh? How the hell would I know? And he goes, chapter 170 end. And he thinks back to Huck telling, where are my friends and her highness? It's like, don't call me your highness. It's like, when I recalled what she said suddenly, it all made sense. That girl is in love with this Huck guy. However, he might be something... It's like, he might be something of an idiot. It's like, makes no difference to me, though. See, chapter 171, I want to see you. And you see them exchanging some more blows as Kobold again tries to block the glaive. It's like, they don't call you king for nothing. It's like, I see you still have the strength to fight this many soldiers, Thunder Beast. It's like, that makes killing you all the more worthwhile. The Thunder Beast's head will make a magnificent souvenir. Then Yona will have no more reason to be attached to Koka. Great, isn't it? And you see Huck just swinging his glaive as he snaps off the blade of Kolbo's sword. And he goes, don't call her by name like that. And he goes, she's the one who told me not to call her your highness, as he just flings the sword hilt at Huck. It was a good point. You're an amazing. I'm surprised a king respected the wishes of another nation's princess. It's like, why are we discussing this? It's like, I'll bet she begged you to use her name. It's like, we're witnessing an incredible battle, but... It's like, are you nuts, old man? It's like, her highness likes beautiful men. And he's like, huh? What's wrong with that little girl? It's like, beautiful, give me a break. And the soldiers are like, their whole conversation is ridiculous. And you see Huck staggering from blood loss. He's like, I've lost too much blood. Like, now's your chance. Get him, my Lord Kolbo. And you see Kolbo pulling out a sword from one of the dead soldiers. And as he's slashing out at Huck, he just glares at him with this murderous intent. I love it. And he just like taken aback by this, and he stops. And he falls to his knee. And he's like, King Kolbo? He's like, for a moment, I clearly saw myself being gutted. The instant I drop my guard, I'll be devoured. He's like, all the more reason why defeating him will bring me closer to the top. He goes, bring it on! And one of his soldiers rides up and goes, I have a report. He's like, well, it's like, our left and right cavalry squads are on the verge of destruction. Koga's cavalry will be heading for this central infantry squad at any moment. And Kolbo and his troops are shocked by this announcement as you see Judo and Kyoga just rushing forward on with their respective troops. And Kolbo's like, it's like, we're regrouping. Everyone retreat. Retrieve the dragons. And Huck smashes his glaive down again as he goes, you're not getting away. And they go, get back here, Tolitai. Return the dragons. Return the red-haired princess. And you see Kolbo just slashing down a bunch of fire tribe soldiers. They're all trying to take him down. They're like, return them. He's like, that girl. And she, oh God, he thinks back to Yona telling him, none of my people are concerned about me. He said, looks like some are. A lot of them even. Well, she's a fine girl. I did think it was bizarre that no one adored her. And you hear, this is too bad. Seems like we get along well, king of the Tuli tribe. And Kolbo goes, do you despise those who are like you, Thunder Beast? And Huck just slashes him right across the chest. And then collapses. And he's like, Huck! He's like, my Lord Kolbo! He's like, quickly, carry the king! He's like, curse it all. He's like, hold still, you're injured! He's like, a little farther. Just a little farther and I'll reach them. And you hear, retreat, we're retreating! The center, and you see Jayhawk going, the Sandprovince army lost! What about Kolbo? It's like, you dragons, everybody in, we're retreating! And you see one of the soldiers with a sword at Yun's throat. As Zeno goes, he's still alive. We're back to square one. Excuse me. And you hear, and as the soldiers start collapsing, they're like, hey, what's wrong? And you see the Sinha's used his powers on me, collapses. Jayha's like, Sinha! Like, did you just use your power? He's like, Yun, run! Like, Sinha! And you see Yun running towards him, like, hey you brats, drop right there! As he knocks an arrow. And all the dragons step forward and goes, we'll go with you in his place. Is that alright with you? If our princess is with you, we won't resist. He's like, fine. It's like, alright, Yun. It's like, but you all... Keidra goes, Huck's fighting all by himself. If he's wounded, take care of his injuries. And see them all just exchanging a group hug. So you have a now. All that's left is getting her highness back, right? After saying we wouldn't resist. And Sinha's like, Jeha, you're too cautious. And Xeno's like, Blue Dragon, you're too stubborn. Xeno is physically and mentally drained. And you see one of the fire tribe soldiers going, you shouldn't try to move. It's like, let go, Kulbo is... It's like, we're chasing down the Sen Province army. Don't touch me, you guys work for Keshuk. Sorry, it's one of the Sky Tribe. Like, Advisor Keshuk ordered us to save you. It's like, what's come over him? You're a thunder beast! As Yun comes running towards him, he's like, Yun? It's like, you really are injured, but you're alive. It's like, how are you here? It's like, I was released because Kija and Sinha took my place. I was like, those guys, I told them not to come. And Yun's like, where are you hurt? It's like, they'll be fine. It's like, I think it'll be easier for the dragons without me there. I really think it's almost over. And Huck's like, is her highness safe? It's like, she sure is. She kicked that priest Gobi. Huck's like, kicked him? That's ridiculous. And he topples over and he goes, Yun, I'm glad you're back. It's like, you'll be able to see Yona soon too. With that, Huck finally kind of like drops unconscious. And you see back at Rihazara's palace, Yona's like, Priest Gobi. It's like, Princess Yona, how nice to see you again. Was it Euron? Is that her name? Yes. Euron's like, what do you want, priest from Shing? This is the king's chamber. Kindly show some respect. And Gobi's like, the king's chamber? It seems King Kulbo really does plan to make Princess Yona his wife and cast you aside. And Yona's like, no! It's like, I TL terrible for you, Lady Euron. The king plans to make a foreign princess your goddess of war. And while she may only be the second wife, she far outranks you. It's preposterous. Why should someone as beautiful and noble as you have to accept that? She's like, what are you trying to say? And he's like, shall I take her away from here? He's like, I'll take her out of your king's reach. The flames of jealousy will no longer threaten you. You only have to say she escaped. And Yona's like, Priest Gobi, aren't you only after the dragon warriors? He goes, that's right. If I have you, the dragons will eventually come after you. I'm suggesting this because I believe Lady Euron and I will both benefit. After I take Princess Yona, all you have to do is release the dragons. How about it, Lady Euron? And she just takes the tea, just throws it on his face. Goes, no matter what path my lord takes, my feelings are constant. My role is to remove obstacles like you from that path. I guess your god is incapable of seeing that. And Gobi goes, negotiations have failed. I see, that's how it is. If you just handed her over, no one would have had to get hurt. You see chapter 172 revitalized, and you see a bunch of his cronies coming up behind Gobi. And you have, what is this? He goes, if King Kulbo makes Princess Yona your goddess of war, that's a problem for me. I wouldn't be able to touch her. I said, Princess, I can't stop thinking about how those miraculous dragon gods surrounded you. I want to behold that sight again. If I must carve you up, I will. And with a zoom, you have a peculiar... As Owl just jumps onto his face. He's like, what's with this rat? And Yona's like, lend me your shoulder. And Euron's like, huh? As Yona grabs onto her, leaps up, and then kicks one of the assassins in the face. And the assassin's like, curse this girl. And you see Euron grabbing one of the cups, pots, some kind of spice thing. Some kind of spice pot that came with the lunch. And she just throws it all over Priest Gobi's and his minions' faces. They're like, what is this? My eyes are burning. And she goes, this way. And Yona's like, what was that? It's like a traditional Tully tribe spice. A very hot one. It's like, you're amazing. It's like, you too. I'm impressed you could throw a kick in that state. Yona's like, well, if I don't resist, it'll eventually kill me and torment my friends. It's like, no matter what, I absolutely have to return alive. It's like, please remove these shackles. She's like, I can't. My Lord Kulbo has the key. There are guards down that way. And as they go down the path, they see that all the guards have been cut down. It's like, It's like, Priest Gobi will stop at nothing. We need to escape quickly. And you see the assassins kind of like slowly descending on them. Yona's like, I need to get back. Alive! And she kind of like stumbles and trips backwards as one of the assassins grabs her by the hair. It's like, if I had the power of 1,000 soldiers, thinks back to Princess. It's like, no. God. Yes, I love this. You see her grabbing the sword of one of the soldiers nearby, and she slashes upward at the assassin, cuts him across the chest. He's like, not as if I can't fight. My hands, and she thinks back to, my hands hold the strength given to me by the strongest person of all. And she grabs one of the arrows and bows off the dead soldiers. And Gobi's like, come back! And she asks Euron, like, can you climb down here? He's like, yes, but... And you see them kind of heading over the wall down. And you see one of the assassins running after them. And as he leaps over, you see Yona's already notched a bow, and she lets an arrow fly and shoots him down. And you see Palace Town Sento. You have King Kulbo has returned. Clear a path. It's like Koka's beaten our army twice. Now they're heading here to Sen Province. And Kulbo goes, there's nothing to fear. We've come back with a prize. We've obtained the power of the 4 legendary dragons. As long as we have them, Sento will be protected. They'll probably wipe out the Koka troops will be arriving soon. Does he plan to send us out against Koka's army immediately? And Zeno's like, are we going to fight our young fellow? Someone's going to die. Us, that is. And Cinna's like, Zeno, you can't die. It's like, learning how to make retorts, Blue Dragon? And Jayha's like, hey, my life ends with a beating from Huck, huh? Not a bad way to go out. And you hear the soldier saying, take him to the front gate. You have a, yes, sir. It's a good grief. Does the Sen Province army still have the strength to fight? Oh, my God, of course. And you see one of the soldiers going, we can keep going, Jayha, Kitty. It's a kitty. And you see that Algira and Voldo have infiltrated Kulbo's force and disguised themselves as the soldiers. It's Algira, Voldo, why are you here? And they're like, shh, Master Huck told us to come here. Huck Kitty told us to take care of Yona Kitty and his friends. We came to save you. And Kitty's getting all tears like, Huck. It's like, what should we do? Beat up the enemy right away? It's like, not so fast. Sinha can't move right now. It's like, what? Is Sinha Kitty injured? It's like, he's fine, but it'll be a little while longer before he can move. It's like, in that case, we'll wait until then. And Jayha's like, in the meantime, there's something I'd like you guys to do. If things go smoothly, we can end this war quickly. And you see it, damn it! And as Hazara's like, sure enough, most of the dead are my soldiers. Now we have to fight Toka's army at Sento's front gates? Curse you, Tully tribe! Curse you, Kulbo! And you hear a, pardon the intrusion. This person wishes to speak to you privately. Sure, what? As Jayha's being led up, he goes, please clear the room. And Voldo whispers to him, who? As Hazar asks, who is he? And Voldo whispers, one of the 4 dragons. The Tully tribe doesn't know he's here. Make it quick. And Hazar goes, what does one of the dragons want with me? And Jayha goes, Koka's king is furious. It's bad enough that Sen Province's army has invaded our nation many times, but now you've also kidnapped the dragon warriors and Princess Yona. Our king will not forgive you for this. He'll see Sento destroyed in a sea of fire. He's like, wait, please wait. I had nothing to do with those kidnappings, and I had no desire to break the non-aggression treaty. It was all Ying Kulbo's doing. Faced with his threats, I had no choice but to obey. I was desperate to protect my people and province. And Jayha's like, well, now Sen Province faces total annihilation. And you hear a clop, clop, clop. You have, he's come. You have, Lord Hazara, the Koka army has arrived at the capital city. And Hazara's having panic attacks like, the king of Koka has come to kill me. And Jayha goes, you have only one way out if you're prepared to take that option. We 4 dragons will protect this city. And you see, yeah! As you have the Koka's army storming the gates, drawing up ladders and battering rams. As Judo's like, break down the gates, set up the ladders. And Kulbo's like, it seems the Koka army's at the gates. If the dragons and Hazara's troops do their jobs, we can defend it. The city's defenses won't fall easily. In a prolonged battle, we'll have the advantage. And your King Kulbo, a white flag is being raised at Sento's gates. It's like, what? Who did that? It's like, it was Lord Hazara. It's like, Hazara? It's like, Hazara's troops are surrendering. It's like, what about the dragons? Like, well, they... And you see the dragons at the gates. Excuse me, my throat's getting dry. As Jayha just leaps over one of the fire tribe soldiers going, excuse me, please. They're being all polite, be like, can you please move off the ladder? We're heading down. It's like the dragon warriors, and you see them waving the white flag of truce. It's like a flag. They've raised a white flag. He goes, as you can see, Sen province, or rather Re-Hazara, has surrendered. They'll open the gates shortly. If you try to harm the city's citizens or any soldiers who don't resist, you'll go through us. And they're like, how can you be so soft? This is a war. And he's like, are you Sen province's minions? Someone dear to us is being held captive. We will not back down. And the fire tribe's like, Princess Yona. It's like, it's Princess Yona. And Judo's like, the fire tribe stopped as soon as they heard her name. And you hear a, can I join this conversation? And, oh, Captain Huck, Captain Huck. It's like, you're safe, thank goodness. It's like, who knows what would have happened to us without you? And Zeno's like, that fellow sure is popular. It's like, when did that happen? You have Captain Huck, Captain Huck. And Judo's like, I understand why Advisor Kashyyyk feared them. The Thunder Beast in particular is trying to kill His Majesty. But in this battle, he became a hero. So you have chapter 173, I'm taking her back. Do you have droopy eyes? It's like, Hazara surrendered, but Her Highness hasn't been released yet. Does this mean Kolbo's men are holding her? It's like, right, the Sen Army province isn't united. That's what Yona told me. He's like, really? It's like, really? It's like, nothing ever keeps Her Highness down. Yeah, Princess Yona's being held prisoner here, isn't she? It's like, let's go. Trust the dragons, do as they say. Don't lay a hand on anyone here who isn't resisting. It's like, you saved our lives. We'll obey your orders. It's like, it's not the blood of Sen Province's people that we're after. Capture Kolbo and get Princess Yona back. That's how this battle ends. You hear them just letting out a war cry outside. It's like, I'll also follow you, Captain Huck. It's like, me too. And one of the Sky Tribe soldiers like, General Judo. It's like, we have no choice but to go along with it. We can't get into a conflict with the Fire Tribe at this moment, but this all feels as if the Thunder Beast is the supreme commander of this battle. If His Majesty were here, no, that would only divide the troops. You're Captain Huck, Captain Huck! It's like, the people become more aware of them. Coco will be divided. And you're opening the gates. And you have raise our nation's flag above the gate. No plundering, I forbid it. And you see the Fire Tribe making their way in. Yeah, find Kolbo. Yeah, where is Kolbo? He was here in the square a minute ago. It's like he's too injured to get far. And Huck's like, is Her Highness in the palace? And Jayha's like, probably, but we don't know exactly where. So compared to where we were when we were in Saika Palace, she's right in arm's reach. Jayha, my lord, this way, quickly. And Kolbo's like, curse that wretched Hazara. If he'd held out and defended the palace, we'd have had a chance of winning. But the coward gave way. Your Lord Kolbo, Koga's forces are pouring into the palace town and battling members of the Tuli tribe who are holed up in the palace. It's like the palace is already surrounded. I won't be able to get in. It's like it's only a matter of time before they take the palace. It's over, my Lord Kolbo. Let's retreat. He's like, what was that? It's like, you're badly wounded. Our tribe doesn't have any strength left to fight. If we don't retreat, our tribe will be exterminated. Lady Tisha, our goddess of war, protected the blood of the tribe, and so must you. It's like, wait, in the palace. It's like, there's no time to go back. You and our other tribe members in the palace town must escape. What is your decision? And you see that they're trying to batter down the doors to the palace. As you have, once we're through here, we'll be at Hazara's palace. You have White Snake. He's like, you called? He's like, whoa, the dragon warriors. It's like, the dragons? It's like, curse you, dragon warriors. You lied when you said you'd submit to us, didn't you? Don't you care what happens to that red-haired girl? The next one. You see Huck just using Gija's arm as a launching pad as he tosses him up to the wall. He's like, that's why we came to get our people back. And he just cuts the soldiers on the wall down. As Jayha kicks one of the others and goes, now you see what happens when you try to use a girl's safety as leverage. And you see him and Huck and Jayha standing back to back. And you hear a war horn being blown as you have, it's the Tuli tribe's horn. You have retreat! Tuli tribe retreat! And you have my Lord Kolbo. It's like, capture those soldiers! And Jay Dune's like, find Princess Yona and Kolbo! And you see Huck sweating and panting as he staggers, and Jayhawk catches him and goes, "Hey, looks like you hit your limit. Get some rest." It's like, "No, I'm not the only one. Let's move." And you see Kulbo's forces retreating as Yona looks back, and Euron's like, "What's the matter?" It's like, "I thought I heard a lot of voices." It's like, "I wonder if my Lord Kulbo has returned." And Yona's like, considering, and she trips and falls, and you see that her leg's been really chafed by the anklet she's been forced to wear. And Euron's like, "You're bleeding." It's like, "I'm fine." It's like, "You can't keep going with your legs like this. You must hide somewhere. I'll search for my lord." And Yona's like, "I'm all right." It's like, "No, I can't take you anywhere in that state." And she looks around and sees the chest and goes, "Get in here. My lord is sure to come for you." It's like, "I really don't think he's concerned about me. You should focus on your own escape." And she goes, "He left you in my care. My loyalty to him includes protecting you." He's like, "Hurry!" And she throws her in and then locks her into like a supply closet area. And he's like, It's like, she's so painfully trusting of Kulbo. But will he really come back here? Can I really let her go alone? Now she's running off. She gets waylaid by Gobi and his goons. It's like, my, Lady Euron. Whatever happened to Princess Yona?" It's like, "Priest Gobi, my lord will be back soon. Don't do anything foolish." And he goes, "He won't be back at all. I've just received word that Sen Province army has been defeated. Koka's army has breached the palace gates. The Tully tribe has retreated from Sento." He's like, "Impossible! That can't be! My Lord Kulbo would never call for a retreat." He's like, "And yet, the Tully tribe soldiers are fleeing the palace by the score. Your lord has abandoned you, Lady Euron. There's no reason for you to be here anymore. Hand over Princess Yona. Don't think I won't torture you if I must." And one of the goons is reaching for her. In the next page, see an arrow taking him straight through the chest. As Yona's like, "I'm right here." It's like, "Princess Yona?" It's like, "Why did you come?" It's like, "I don't want you to die. I haven't forgiven Kulbo for anything, but I want you to live and be reunited with him." "Java, capture her!" It's like, "Get out of here, Euron. Thank you for helping me." And you see one of the goons grabbing Yona, pushing her down. He's like, "Princess Yona!" It's like, "What should I do? Lord Kulbo!" And you see on the outside, Tadrian going, "Where's Princess Yona?" It's like, "We haven't found her yet." It's like, "She's probably locked up in some room or other. This palace is massive. So Kulbo would know where she is." "Jar Huck?" It's like, "Yeah." It's like, "I'm going to check out the eastern buildings." "Got it." And you see, someone dragging a soul, what looks like one of the Sen soldiers, dragging his feet, trying to head to a building. And Huck walks up behind him and goes, "Did you find Princess Yona?" It's like, "No. Fire tried to steal one of the Sky Tribe guys' stuff." It's like, "She's not here." It's like, "You haven't been inside yet. How can you say for sure?" "What's the matter? Let's go check." It's like, "You have the entry key, don't you? Or is it hard for you to move with that injury from my glaive?" "Is that it, King Kulbo?" You see that King Kulbo has so disguised himself. So you have chapter 174 right there. He goes, "Your tribe is retreating, but you're sneaking in disguised as a Sky Tribe soldier. You must have very important business in there, O King." And he lashes out with his sword and goes, "I don't have time for this. Can't believe I ran into the person I least wanted to see." And he goes, "Are you after Her Highness?" He's like, "I plan to make Princess Yona my tribe's goddess of war and seize control of both Koka and the Kai Empire. Celebrate. Those dreams have been crushed." He's like, "Then why did you come back?" He's like, "That's not important. If we're fighting, let's do it." He's like, "I don't have time for this either. Tell me where Her Highness is." He's like, "Come on, Yona's in my chamber." And Huck's like, "What?" He's like, "Hey, you better not have harmed her." He's like, "Huh?" I've been completely respectful. I even let her sleep in my bed. You see, next page, Huck just slams his glaive down on him. He's like, "Stop that! If you kill me now, you won't know where she is." He's just glaring at him murderously. It's like, "I didn't lay a finger on her. I lent her half my bed, that's all." He's like, "Half?" It's like some sort of Tully tribe custom. It's like, "Yes, it is." It's like, "If I say anything careless, you'll have my head." And he comes upon the dead soldiers. He's like, "Hey, what happened here?" Huck's like, "He's dead." "Is Her Highness alone in your chamber?" He's like, "No. I entrusted her to the woman I trust more than anyone in the world." And you see a whip and as two arrows are sent flying towards him. And Huck cuts them down out of the air, and he sees more of Gobi's goons. As Huck goes, I remember them from Shing. It's like, Shing? It's like, Gobi. He's betrayed me too. It's like, they're coming. Can you fight? It's like, who do you think you're talking to? It's like, I'll kill them. And you see Euron running around with a sword. I don't know whose sword that is. And she's like, I have no time to stand around. Even if I'm on my own, I have to help Princess Yona. It's like, someone's coming. Priest Gobi's henchmen? Or Koka soldiers? It's like, Lord Kulbo, lend me your strength. And she pulls out a sword and rushes around the corner into a surprised Huck who's about to put the glaive down on her. As Kulbo's like, wait! It's like, Euron! It's like, my lord! It's like, what happened? And she's like, he came back. She starts blushing. It's like, I'm so sorry. Priest Gobi took Princess Yona. It's like, where did they go? It's like, that way. And it's like, huh? And Huck just runs off. It's like, who was that? And Kulbo just pulls Euron in for a hug. And she's like, Lord Kulbo. It's like, I came back for you. And she just starts tearing up. It's like, our tribe is lost. We're evacuating the palace. But don't cry. It's like, that's not why I'm crying. It's like, what about Princess Yona? It's like, that man went after her. The Gobi's the one who's going to die. Oh, sorry. It's she went out about Princess Yona. And you went, that man went after her. Gobi's the one who's going to die. She's like, that's not what I meant. And you see outside Voldo going, Algira, hey, where are you going? There aren't any cats over here. He's like, I smell something this way. It's like, you do? It's like the stench of someone I hate. It's like, try to endure it though. It's true I haven't bathed in a few days. As he just pulls down his mask and like sniffing it. It's like, not you, it's Gobi. He's probably nearby. And he sees, I assume. I don't know if that's one of the guys like carrying it on his back or what. As he's like, Yona kitty! It's like, Algira? It's like, Algira, you say? It's like, Gobi! It's like, found you! Okay, yeah, it's one of the soldiers like throwing her over his shoulder. It's like, that dratted Koran chasing me all this way. It's like, hurry! Excuse me, my throat's running really dry today. And you see both of them like trying to scale the pillar up. It's like, Yona kitty! It's like, give up, Priest Gobi! You have Algira, Voldo! It's like, I can't let them catch me. And he like dumps a brazier as he's running by it. He's like, youch, hot! It's like, Algira! It's like, Yona kitty! It's like, we came to save you. The dragon kitties and Yun kitty are free. It's like, really? It's like, yes, everyone's coming to save you right now. Huck kitty too. It's like, he's almost here. So, let's all go back together. It's like, yes. And you see her like squirming. He's like, stop squirming. And Algira's like, I'll be right. It's like, hot. Ooh, and you see one of those Gobi's men throwing a kunai at him, which takes him in the arm as he falls back over. He's like, Algira! It's like, well done. It's like, Vol dummy! And you see Voldo rushing up with his sword as he throws from the back of Gobi's goon. It's like, Princess Yona! It's like, run! Get away! Ooh, and you see him having grabbed Algira's hand as he also loses his grip and falls over. And you see with a thud and a Vol! And you see Yona's fruit are like all bruised and all badly bruised as the fire's like starting to eat up the little platform they're on. And you see Gobi going, looking more and more unhinged, going, summon the dragon warriors. They're nearby, aren't they? It seems you're unable to stand. Come on, quickly. You need to call for help. They'll turn into dragons and come save you, just like before. Give the word before you're burned to a crisp. Come on, hurry, hurry, hurry! She's like, I won't. They can't rush to me like that, and I wouldn't call them if they could. It's like, why not? It's like, if I told you, you wouldn't understand. It's like, Princess Yona! It's like, I'm so dizzy. My hands are numb. I'm passing out. You're a Yona kitty! It's like, the dragon kitties and Yun kitty are free. Everyone's coming to save you right now. Huck kitty too, he's almost here. She's like, are you almost here, Huck? I can't see anything. I can't breathe. I don't care about how much my legs hurt. I want to see you while I can still speak. Why didn't I tell you? It's like, Princess, like the only thing I need to be happy is for you to be happy. It's like, Huck, when you said you loved me, I was so very... She's like, Huck. Oh. She says, I love you, and you see that Huck's cradling her is carrying her off. things are getting spicy. I have chapter 175. I called out to you in my dreams countless times. We pick up where we left off before, or like we do a little jump back in time as Huck runs up going, "Princess!" And he sees her nearby. And he sees how badly bruised and bloodied her legs are. And he's like looking furious. He just grabs her in. And she's like, "Oh," it's like, "Your Highness, are you?" And he's like, "She's delirious." And that's when he was like, "The Huck, I love you." And he's like, "Huh?" And he sees the fire just like eating up the palace nearby. And he turns and runs away with her. And he's like, a tuck, 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 tuck. And Yona comes to, and she's like, "Huck?" It's like, "You're awake?" He's like, "Huh? And she starts coughing. He's like, "You inhaled too much smoke. How do you feel?" He's like, "Huck, is it really you?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I can finally see you." He just hugs her close. He goes, "There's been so many things I wanted to tell you. I'm so glad you're alive. Thank you so much, Your Highness." He's like, "Huck," he's like, "I should be saying that." It's like, "Thank." He's like, "Hey, wait, don't try to talk right now." She just starts coughing. He glances at her feet again. He goes, "Give me a moment." And he uses his glaive to sever the chains holding her ankle weights together. So we'll get the shackles off later. She's like, "My legs feel lighter." So "Did Kulbo put those on you?" And she just nods, and he's like, "I should have killed him. He was here earlier, but he's probably gone by now." She's like, "Huh? Kulbo was here?" And he's like, "Yeah, he was." She's like, "Oh." It's like, "Why do I get the feeling you're happy about that?" And she's like, "Because I'm sure he came back for Euron." It's like, "Euron?" He's like, "Oh, actually, yeah, I saw her." It's like, "Really? I'm glad for her." It's like, "Who is she?" It's like, "She's Kulbo's wife." It's like, "What? That guy slept next to you and his wife?" It's like, "No, Euron wasn't there." It's like, "Wait, how did you know about that?" He's like, "She wasn't there?" He's like, "It was fine. He was keeping tabs on me as his prisoner. Euron helped me even though I was a prisoner." It's like, judging from her expression, I don't think he did anything to her other than shackling her feet. It's not unusual for prisoners to be beaten. And he goes, "Let's go. We need to get your feet looked at." And he just starts bride carrying her out of the burning building as Gobi's watching them. And you have a rustle as Algira's like, "Volkitty, are you dead?" He's like, "Ow." It's like, "I'm alive." He's like, "Don't call me Kitty." And you have a, "Hey, look," as you see Hazara's palace going up in flames. And you have, "Where's Princess Yona?" It's like, "She's all right." He's like, "Huh?" It's like, "Intuition. When things are dire, all the hair on my body stands on end." It's like, "That's not happening right now." It's like, "Floof." And he just imagines like a cat just fur standing up. It's like, "All right." It's like, "Where are you going? We can't do anything in this fire. I'll call for help." You see a Huff as Huck's sweating. And Yona's like, "Huck?" And you see him wobbling. You see his wounds open again. He's bleeding through it. And with a clank, he lets his glaive drop. And she's like, "He's got severe injuries and burns. He came all this way in this condition?" He's like, "Huck." He's like, "I'm fine." He's like, "Just need to rest a bit." He's like, "Huck." He's like, "What should I do?" He's like, "Please don't die. Please don't die." And she's still coughing because she's still like fighting the smoke inhalation. It's like, "My throat hurts. I want water." She's going to kiss him again. And you see her looking around with the drag as you see her running. She's like, "There." It's like, "Water." I knew it. And she's like, "There's no ladle." And she just cups some in her hand and just scoops it into her mouth. It's like, "Princess, like, stick close." And she goes in for the kiss to feed him some water. Oh, goddamn, things are really getting spicy. And as she draws a whack from the kiss, he just pulls her in closer for more. She's like, "Oh, wait." He's like, "Don't have more water." And he's like, "Your mouth's too small. That's why it's not enough." He just kisses her passionately with like this raw hunger on his face. And then she stops and like she starts coughing again. It's like, "Princess." It's like, "The smoke, it spread all the way here." It's like, "Huck, it's like, can't think about the pain right now." And you see him turning around, just throwing his glaive straight towards Gobi, who just snags the edge of his hood. He's like, "You're Priest Gobi from Shing, aren't you? Did you escape from the fire too? Or are you still after the dragon warriors and her highness? For Algira and Voldo, I didn't hit you with my glaive. But next time you pull anything, the blade goes through your neck." And he's like, "Huck, the smoke!" It's like, "It's all right. Something's flying through the sky." And you see Jayha coming in for a landing as he goes, "Sorry for the wait." It's like, "Jayha!" He's like, Algira and Voldo told me where you were. I was like, that was 5 stars. He's like, Jayhawk's badly hurt. Take him first. Hurry. He's like, you idiot. You're going first. She goes, Jayhawk goes, don't worry. I'll come right back for him. It's like, okay. It's like, is everyone else safe and sound? It's like, of course. Like, let's go home to Coca. So you have chapter 175 end. So we got a little bit of an afterword. Blah, blah, blah. Additional. So I wanted to give you additional information on Kobo and the Tuli tribe. Kobo is 35 years old, 190 centimeters tall, about 6'3". He's actually taller than Huck. Euron is 25 years old. Even though Yuna was a prisoner, Kobo only shackled her legs for defiance, so he felt he was being truthful when he treated her respectfully. Though the status of women in the Tuli tribe improved after Kobo's older sister became the goddess of war, men still hold most of the power. Because of his sister's influence, Kobo was never especially cruel toward women. Since the tribe's nomadic days, it's been normal for the men to be breadwinners and to take several wives. I think Kobo treated Yona like a sister rather than a potential wife. He might have eventually married her for political reasons, though. He loved his sister and competed with her as the unifier of their tribe. I wanted to spend a bit more... drawing the battle for the Sen Province is difficult but fun. I wanted to spend a bit more time on them. There's just a little bit more in the next volume to wrap up this arc. Yeah, alright. So quick thoughts on the chapter. So, looks like I'm right. Kobo's probably going to end up being an ally of sorts by the end of this. So, not too surprising. I feel like I was expecting more. I think I'm a little bit disappointed because I think I was expecting to be a little bit more either nuanced or have more of a presence as a villain. I don't think he really lived up to either one. It feels like he's a little bit flat as a character. And again, like, it feels like the afterward kind of bugs me a little bit because, like, Kusanagi sounds like, I'm going to give you more information about the Tuli tribe. And, like, I feel like this is something that should have been incorporated into the story rather than being told to us in an afterword. And I'm glad, 'cause, again, some of the things that she addresses in the afterword was something I was thinking about during reading this volume, and I was going to bring up at the end with the review, which was specifically about the whole, like, the fact that apparently the tribe has a goddess of war, but they're being led by a man, and they don't really seem to have many female warriors in there, especially with Euron kind of just being like, the typical bride, the typical good wife. Like, I was kind of a little bit taken aback and surprised by the fact, this tribe that has a goddess of war that they apparently revered doesn't really have a lot of prominent women fighters in the tribe. So the afterward, answered my question with regarding to that by saying, like, this was a more recent development, mostly because of his sister, etc., etc. But again, I feel like this was something I would rather have seen in the story rather than being delegated to an afterward as extraneous material. So I feel like there could have been a lot more done to flesh out the Tuli tribe, their customs, the Tuli tribe and their customs and things like that more than we got, which made this arc feel a little bit lackluster again. I feel like that's been the trend in the last couple of arcs we've gotten, where it starts off really, really strong, but it feels like the ending gets rushed a little bit too much and wrapped up a little bit too hastily, which is a little bit disappointing, but I don't know. I don't know much more else to say on that, because I want to read the next volume to see what the wrap-up is like before I kind of post final thoughts with regards to that. But it feels like this conflict ended too quickly. And again, Gobi is also the way Gobi is drawn and the way his mannerisms were presented in this chapter also made him feel a little bit too comically evil as opposed to frightfully evil. And I hope that also gets changed as well, because again, it kind of undercut a lot of the impact of his scenes and like his fanaticism, uh, given like how much, really undercut his fanaticism, which I would hope gets changed because it feels like he's going to be a recurring character. And it feels like, again, he's probably going to go shift his alliance to the Kai Empire at some point as well. So we'll see more of him. So when we do, I hope he becomes a little bit more malicious than he was presented in this volume, but we'll see. But I think the highlight of this volume was absolutely the passionate kiss between Yona and Huck as we see more development in the relationship. I love the absolute, like, the hunger and the desire you see in him when Yona gave him the kiss and she's like trying to pull back and he's like, no, I want more. So I really love that. Like I said, the heat is ramping up. I wonder if he's actually gonna take her confession at face value, if he's gonna address it, or if he's gonna think that, she was in a state of delirium and she wasn't thinking straight. And he's not going to take it too seriously. But I'm looking forward to that. On the more positive stuff, I think the stuff I like more about the recent arcs, aside from like the conflict and the plot stuff itself, I think the character development stuff has been really, really well done. Like I said, Huck has gone a lot on that end especially, and it's been really, really nice seeing kind of his progress from the beginning to now. Again, I like that his relationship with Yona is now expanding, becoming more romantic, so I appreciate those aspects of that. Hope we get to see that with some of the other characters in the next couple of volumes as well. But yeah, we'll see hopefully in the next volume what the Sen stuff wraps up with. But yeah, again, strong start, lackluster ending. It was still an enjoyable read despite all that. So not too much criticism here, but it's becoming a little bit of a pattern at this point. All right, so with that said, as always, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider like, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, a lot of good content coming out this weekend. So if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing so you can get updates when that content does drop. Like I mentioned, like, commenting, subscribing, pushing all those buttons really helps with YouTube's algorithm because it promotes my videos, helps me reach a wider audience, which really kind of keeps me motivated to do content creation. So if you've enjoyed any of my content, or if you want to check out, if you liked some of my content, check out some of the other videos on the channel. You might find something else you like. But any and all support, as always, is greatly appreciated. Like I mentioned, tomorrow expect some more Yona along with the weekly Shonen Jump reaction reviews as normal. And until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.